Spoiler alert. You're listening to the Comics Online podcast. Season 22. Episode 1. Comics Online returns. Broadcast live from FXBG Public Radio August 20th, 2022. This episode, Kevin, Zoe, and Eric are joined by new co-host Harry Crosland to talk about comics, TV, movies, games, and everything geek pop culture.
Hello again, and welcome to the Comics Online podcast, Season 22, Episode 1. I'm your host, Kevin Ghostwan, and with me today, as usual, is my co-host for life, Zoe Ghostwan. And with us, joining us for the first time today, it's really been a long time coming, really. We finally have our new co-host, Harry Crosland is here.
What's up, everybody?
So we're back again. We'll even have this on your on your Apple Podcasts or wherever your favorite podcasts are found. Once again, I promise I'm gonna do it this time. Before I wasn't promising. Before I was like, well, eventually, but now I'm really going to do it for those of you audio listeners because I have heard from some people from back in the day. The Comics Online podcast started in 2008, and here we are, Season 22. Does that match up? It doesn't. 22 is the number of years that I've been doing Comics Online, along with Matt Cernacker, along with Dune McKay. Dune Murderous will return at some point with us to join us once in a while, and then the usual cast of characters. There are some people who will never be back, but we're not going to talk about those people today, are we, Eric? No. We're coming at you from FXBG Public Radio, as we have been for a while, and to return. You see behind us, I've got a glorious picture of that I took during San Diego Comic-Con of the convention center as we sailed along on the Hornblower. We were at the Heavy Metal Magazine party, which was a good time. It wasn't the IMDb boat. Frankly, the IMDb boat is where my heart is now. I was like, Comic-Con is great, but it's almost like a channel for me to get back on the darn IMDb boat. This is the first time we haven't been able to do it, and it super bummed me out, and that's never happening again. We're going every time from here on out. We finally got the right people. I got a top 5 list of things that I would have talked to you about if we had all the time in the world. We will hit some of these points. So we have, in the realm of comics, the top 5. What if Miles Morales? And I do want to hit this. I have Amazing Spider-Man, which has been crazy up and down, and Zeb Wells and J.R. Jr., what's going on? The X-Books have been fantastic. AXE, that is Avengers, X-Men, and Eternals it's been a lot. And I don't know what to say about it, and I would like to know what you guys have to say about it. She-Hulk the comic, much like She-Hulk the television show, She-Hulk the comic is back again, and it's great. It's slow. It's like daring you to complain that it's so slow. It's like, I see you, Bendis. Hold my beer, because it's going slow, but it's delightful. I love it. On television, we have Sandman, we have Orville, and by the way, Comics Online's got exclusive interviews with the cast of Orville coming up very soon. Yeah, right? Mm-hmm. Did I tell you about this? Yeah, we got exclusive. My son Kendrick Ghostwan did some interviews at San Diego Comic-Con, and those will be coming to YouTube very soon. We had a bit of a delay with our video editing, but they should be there as early as Monday, so that should be cool. Also, I want to talk things to talk about television-wise. She-Hulk, like I say, fantastic start. Star Trek, we've got multiple things going on. Walking Dead, we've got multiple things going on. Then on to movies. I wrote Thor 4, because that's the latest MCU thing. But then go into MCU and all those announcements. Green Lantern, Beware My Power. We love DC animated, but that shit is scaring me. It's not good.
Oh no.
It's not good. Bring back the old, the Tim and all the and Andrea, because who has got the reins of this? It's not good. Also, Day Shift, funny as hell. Watch that. And then also Harry brought up. I'm gonna jump on your choice, and that is Prey. What's the opposite of Prey? Predator. It's big and it's exciting and it's juicy and it's one movie that you can just watch it on Hulu. As far as games go, Fallout 76, I want to play more. I'm still excited about it. I still love playing. Zoe loves making camps. I feel like you should.
In 76.
You should offer to make people's camps. Like, yeah, that could be a money maker. She makes the most awesome camps.
Get on Fiverr.
Yeah, get on Fiverr, exactly.
I do enjoy it. They got
Also, sorry.
They got some Fallout 3 stuff coming out. They're actually
You mean
gonna.
Fallout 5?
No.
Oh,
They're
the
actually
Fallout
for 76. It's gonna be like a new little. Yeah.
That's what I wanted the whole time.
I know. That's what I was about to say. Maybe you'll see me playing more. It's a lot like the old ones.
So Fallout 5 is coming, but we don't know anything about it yet. They're just like, yeah, we're working on Fallout 5. We're not going to tell you anything about it though. And then then there's Fallout the movie or show or whatever. What did
on
you?
Amazon.
On Amazon
Prime.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's
So,
good.
Pull those images?
Oh yeah, there's a few
Yes,
leaked
throw that up real
of
quick.
the
So-
set.
I'm just gonna pop them in one by one.
Yeah.
We've got that.
And so that one said fan art directly, but maybe that's just.
That's just what. That's the.
Oh, that's who
Right,
captured
'cause
it.
I saw
Hey,
several
shout out
plays
to
up.
those guys, Fallout fan art. Anyway, that's it looks like it's from the set.
Yes,
And it
pictures
looks
from the set.
really authentic. If that's
Yes.
wow, that's
Vault
really
Dweller.
awesome.
It really
that's
does.
gorgeous. All right. And then
There's one more. Yeah.
there's one more.
Like stuff like this.
There was
that's real
there was
cool.
an exterior of the mall.
Right.
Yeah, I got
That's
that
like
in
the
here
fifth
somewhere.
one, I
How
think.
about this one? Oops. There we go.
There you go, the
that
Super
one.
Duper Mall.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it wasn't the mall. It was the Super Duper Mart.
But the cars.
Yeah.
Look, yeah.
Entrance to the cars.
I just want to blow up those cars now. Cause that's what you do. Just bait some.
I mean, only a couple of them are tall enough to get on tops of the.
Bait some scorched over there and blow up the cars. That's
Yeah.
what you
That's
do.
it. Isn't it?
Pokemon Go. I play it all the time. It's like my zen moment. It's just if I'm stressed out, just play a little Pokemon Go. Just throw those curveballs and not worry about anything. We also have interviews with the folks from Lego something or other. What is it called? Sorry, I will be right back with you. Lego Building
Shades of
Worlds.
Grey?
Building Worlds
That's
with
what it
Lego. So the folks with Lego World Builder platform, powered by Tungle. That's a kind of a choke on it word. Tungle has built this Building Worlds platform, and Lego fans can get online. It's free. It's like
What
a
is
web
this, Tungle?
Tungle.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, you jump on, and the interviews will be on our YouTube soon. And you jump on, and you can create whatever world you want. You can create your own world. You can contribute to somebody else's world, and it's unrestricted to the degree where you can even jump into properties, intellectual content that Lego doesn't own, because you're making it as a fan. You're making fan art. If Lego can talk to these people who actually own the intellectual property, your stuff could get turned into a real live Lego set. And you might think, well, that's cool. That's bragging rights, but it's not just bragging rights. They will pay you. So that's a thing. That's a thing now. Lego could pay
Building
you.
people.
And that was really cool. Anyway, and I still want to play Far Cry 6 because I have not finished Far Cry 5 or the weird sequel to it.
What came out? Something came out that we stopped. It wasn't like we were just like, oh, screw this. Like, we were having fun with it.
There's a new Marvel thing that not Marvel Knights, but the other one. What did Marvel Knights transition into with those same characters? Spider-Man, Blade, Ghost Rider, Daredevil, all those street level heroes.
I'm blanking right now.
Anyway, there's a new game coming out.
The Midnight
Suns.
Yeah,
there
Midnight
you go.
Suns got delayed again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw the preview for that. It looks awesome.
It really does.
Their costumes are a little like
Everything's
what?
a little bit off.
But
What?
if you read
What
about the gameplay, it's my kind of gameplay.
Gameplay sounds fun.
Yeah, the RPG aspects of it I really enjoy. And you get to pick your own character. You're going to be called Hunter, I believe is the name of the character that you create.
Right.
And then
So you fight alongside the Midnight Suns.
Right. If the game ever comes out.
And then regarding events, obviously San Diego Comic-Con, and then obviously King Con Cruise. If you haven't already, check out KingConCruise.com. This is the voice actor cruise that Zoe and I have been going on for the past 4 times it's existed since what 2019. We first went on it, and we are just going to keep going on. In fact, we're inviting all of our friends to join us for my birthday this year, and we will be there until they stop throwing it. But this is thrown by John St. John, the voice of Duke Nukem, as well as and he's got a ton of voice actors on there as well. Most notably from the start, friend of the show Wes Johnson, voice of the Capitals here locally, but voice of Shio Gorath for you gamers, and a ton of other voices as well.
in Fallout.
In Fallout. Oh yeah. If you want to know who the best Sonny is, well, it's Wes Johnson is the best Sonny.
And they're just so wonderful to be around. Like, when you're in that kind of environment, when you're around, in this group for days on end, it's not just going up and getting signature at a table. It's really getting to know them intimately. It's having dinner with them, listening to them, drinking with them. It's a lot of fun. It really is. It's a lot of fun, a lot of activities.
So check out, like I say, not really brought to you by, but it might as well. We definitely want to promote it as much as possible. We love it, and we will be there, and we hope you will be there to join us. We hope Harry and his wife will join us there, because it's going to be fantastic. It always is.
And cruises right now are such a good deal.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Just in general, yeah.
They make money back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's like under $700 for an interior for the week.
So before we go into your picks of geek pop culture, so those are those things that I'm like, oh, I would love to talk about these things, but we haven't got time to hit every last one of them. So I just wanted to throw you the list. But so we have Harry Crosland here, and Harry. For those of our fans, I know you're going to end up with a ton of your fans watching this. For those of the ComicsOnline people who aren't local out here, tell everybody a little bit about yourself and why you're known in the area.
Well, I'm originally from Baltimore. Took a trip there today, as a matter of fact. I live in Prince George's County in Maryland. I've been there for almost the past 20 years. I've been in and out of comics for as long as I can remember. Unfortunately, right now I'm kind of on the outside. Unfortunately, don't sue me. But big gamer, so everything I'm doing right now is like for the last couple of weeks I've been on this Assassin's Creed kick. I've been going back, cleaning up stuff in Valhalla, doing another run through on Origins, since now Origins is on Xbox. And then for some odd reason last week I decided, you know what, I'm going to also do some Odyssey, because I finished Odyssey on PC but never finished it on Xbox, and then I just got that itch again, so I've just been on this really big Assassin's Creed kick. Also, for the reason why I was in Baltimore this morning, I was doing a Ghostbusters photo shoot. Yeah, I'm a photographer, so for those of you that know me, know I I do photography. So I had a client this morning. She wanted to do a Ghostbusters shoot. We grabbed a spot over at Graffiti Warehouse in Baltimore. Beautiful place. If you want something that looks kind of industrial, kind of dystopian, rundown, that's your spot.
Huh.
So we did
Is there? Do you have to pay to book a spot there?
Yeah. And they're really good about reserving the spot. It's $60. You get 2 hours. Unfortunately, you're forced to use the 2 hour slot. So I would always recommend, if you're going, you might want to have 2 separate shoots so that way you don't get burnt out on doing one shoot for 2 hours, however you want to do it. But you got a lot of space to work with. It's one of those things I can't really describe it. You guys just have to wait till you see the pictures. But
All right.
it's dope. It's a really dope place. So if you cosplay or if you're into some high-end fashion type stuff, you want something different. Because matter of fact, one of the spots that we were using this morning, it's a large open room, big bay windows, a lot of light coming through. So depending on your level of photography or however you want to do it, you can use natural light, combo it with a flash, whatever. It's big, open, and bright. You can get some really funky, moody stuff in there. And then the hallway, it kind of fluctuates between light and dark. So
Okay.
you could do some crazy stuff in the hallway as well. So that's one side of the camera. And then when I'm on the other side of the camera, most of you know me as Bishop Cosplay. So my wife and I cosplay as well. Been cosplaying since 2008.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and when I say local, it's really like the East Coast because as you recently reminded us, we've you were on the ad in the New York City subways
Yeah.
for New York Comic Con a
Yeah.
couple of years ago.
Yeah, 2018. It was
Yeah.
just mind blowing that's how far we had gotten. You're on a train waiting to go somewhere in New York.
Yeah.
In New York.
In New York, where there's literally millions and
Millions.
millions of people on that subway every day,
Right.
seeing your face and
And-
Janine's face.
And it really didn't hit me until we actually went later that year, and people were coming up. I remember you from the subway. Because you wouldn't think most of the time people they see stuff in subway like whatever. I mean, I'm just happy that it was just there. But to have people actually come up, hey, you were in the subway, and then I could show them we were in the program as well, and having people ask for my autograph. Wow.
That's gotta
cool.
be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just still thrilled that people will recognize me occasionally. Like, hey, aren't you, Kev? Like when we were brand new, like people, random people would be like, hey, aren't you from Comics Online podcast?
Wait,
You still
really?
get that?
It's been a while, but yeah.
I think we were checking out somewhere.
Oh
I think
yeah.
it was at Second and Charles even.
Oh yeah.
Kid was just like,
I think they
"Aren't
more
you?"
recognized Troy David, but hey, it's not
Who
it's
doesn't
not
love
bad.
Troy David?
Everybody loves Troy
Everybody
David.
loves Troy, yeah.
So yeah, so there's Harry, and so big deep into the geek pop culture scene here locally and beyond.
Yeah.
So Comics Online coming back in the podcast world with legit East Coast superstar. Superstar.
Guys are too kind.
All right. So you're behind on comics. When did you drop off at comics?
Around 2017, 2018.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
no. So did you read that Miles Morales thing? Because I want to talk to you about that because I feel like you posted something on Facebook.
Oh boy.
Miles Morales. What if Miles Morales? Because regular Miles
What
Morales
if
has
Miles
been great.
Morales
Number
went to
4.
Midgard?
The Asgardian
Yeah.
version. Cringy as fuck, or
Very.
would you describe it differently?
Cringy as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It still shows that there's a disparity in the creativeness and what's going on with the big two, Marvel and DC, where you have a lot of people that are not of color, that are not telling our stories, not giving us credit, not even taking the time to say, well, hey, how can we present this? Because there's so many other ways that Miles being in Midgard could have been presented. But to go out there, throw him in this costume, give him slang. I was like, okay, this is blaxploitation. And then the writer coming back like, yes, we understand. What was he, Mexican and Jewish? I believe it was.
I don't recall.
Right. But still, regardless, somebody up top signed off on it and should have said, hey, look, you know what? This is not good.
Yeah.
This is not good. We need to not offend people. And, there are people out there, there are those out there that embraced it for what it was and like, hey, we're happy for the credit, but there's a lot of us out here that are saying, no, these are still some of the same problems that we have seen for so long in comics where they take people of color and exploit us just to try to make a dollar. And we're not even going to get into how, like, that big open page of Miles walking through Asgard, and Asgard looking like the hood with the sneakers on the wires, and I was like,
yeah.
I don't have my glasses, but I was just like,
yeah.
oh, no.
Super cringe.
Yeah.
That was rough.
We got to do better.
And the funny thing is, the other ones, the one where he's Captain America, the one where he's Wolverine, the one where he's Hulk or something like that, those were fine.
Right.
But that number 4 was like, oh no, please don't do this. And I remember feeling the same way back in, I want to say it was 2015, when Genndy Tartakovsky, who you'll remember from Samurai Jack, a bunch of other great animated things, cartoons that you've seen on Cartoon Network, etc., did this, what's his name? Did this Luke Cage, this Power Man.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
and I was, and the art on it was great, and it was whiz bang pow, very exaggerated characters, much like an animated thing might be, but the dialogue in it was similarly cringy as fuck, and I was just like, oh no. And I'm going to Troy, and I'm like, have you read this? Is this okay with you? And he's like, man, I don't care. That's Troy. That's Troy. He's like, whatever, whatever gives me $1.
Just pretend like this didn't happen. We'll see what happens next week.
Oh.
I think I'll drop on Tuesday.
Yeah. But it's still a thing of you have to vote with your dollars. You kind of hit it right there. You have to vote with your dollars.
But how do you unvote?
Yeah.
That's what I would like to do right now.
Well, the thing of it is, voting with your dollars is you just don't buy it. That's technically how you unvote.
We already had it.
But you've already bought it 2 months before because of using.
Yeah. Well, the thing of it is, thankfully, there were like a lot of media outlets that pretty much put it out there where people could see. Like, the unfortunate few that got it or even got the digital copies where they were like, hey, y'all need to see this.
Yeah.
Because the thing of it is, it still begs the question of, what's the hiring practices over at these companies when they hire these writers and artists? Why aren't they bringing in more minorities all across, people of color, women, trans, everything, everybody that has to have a seat at the table, because you have to look at it like this. We're at a point now where so many dollars are coming in from so many different sectors.
Right.
But the same people that are writing and creating are still homogenized. Yeah. And that's a problem.
Yeah.
That is a huge problem. I mean, even when we get to talking about She-Hulk, there was problems with that. And when you look at, like, comic books, I could still ask...
What were the problems with She-Hulk?
Because it was She-Hulk. But we'll come to that.
Okay, good. All right.
We'll come to that.
Sounds good to
me. It's just the fact that it was She-Hulk, but we'll come to that.
Okay.
I'm still trying to understand to this day, after all these years, how come Storm does not still have a solo book?
That's a good question.
That is.
The last
Especially
one I remember,
right now.
Yeah.
Last one I remember was Greg Pak. And that was...
Why not her?
Yeah. Because that's what I would like to see. I would like to see a good writer, preferably a woman, really, really preferably a woman of color, write that book.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I'm going to get off my soapbox.
No. You know what? That's a soapbox worth getting on.
Yeah.
You know, particularly these days. All right, Zoe. I've been skipping you too much. People have been watching you the whole time.
No, they've
You
not.
look gorgeous today.
You're very sweet.
Thank you for making
think
us
I've-
pretty.
Well, you guys kind of talked on some of the things I wanted to talk on. You did good.
Well, okay, comic books right now. What have you been reading?
Oh, not much.
What'd you read today?
Oh goodness. Oh, it's pretty good. And all that sticks in my head is that Scotty Young cover. It was freaking. I just love them so much. I'm just like, ooh.
Strange #1.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts of Clea Strange taking over the mantle of, or at least, you know, whether it's temporary or semi-permanent,
Right.
taking over the mantle of Sorcerer Supreme?
Well, I like it. She kind of had a bit of sass and wasn't, you know, like, no, I'm definitely, I don't care what you said. This dying wish was this. You want to go ahead and go tattletale to whoever, good luck. Like, you know, spend 5,000 years for you guys. There's no way that this is going to pan out, and just sat right back down in her throne.
Her couch.
Her couch. No. With the way that she was just, it was a throne. I don't care if it was a couch.
Oh, yeah.
She made that couch her throne.
Right.
Yeah.
What about you?
Well, I definitely love that. I've been loving the general X-Men books. I'm not so sure about these Avengers, X-Men, Eternals, you know, Acts, whatever it's called,
yeah.
Judgment Day stuff.
So what's the build-up supposed to be now?
The build-up is the Eternals. The third law in for the Eternals is they're supposed to correct excess deviation. So the deviant. So you know, many years ago, those of you who have watched the Eternals movie, it's quite a bit different in the comics, but generally you get the gist. The Celestials came to Earth. They said, okay, we've got Eternals, we've got humans in the middle, and we've got deviants. And the terrible, the worst guy, like the Loki, if you will, of the Eternals, went and has recently become their king. I don't know why. I wasn't paying attention. I probably have the comics, but I definitely have not read them. And he says, you know what's excess deviation? Motherfucking mutants. Why don't we kill them? And so he was going to go behind everybody's back and kill them, and then he realized that his avenue of doing so was going to go and let everybody know that he did it, and he was like, oh, you know what? That's going to get me in bad trouble. So instead, I'm going to go and rally the people and, you know, and get all political about it. Hey, they're the bad guys. They're the other, and we're going to correct that excess deviation by killing them. Yeah.
Is this House of M all over again, just under a different wrapper?
I'm glad you
saying.
said that, because in some ways it definitely is. Yeah, and in the broad strokes, it is
That's what it sounds like.
almost exactly. You know, there's no Scarlet Witch, but might as well be.
Overpowered being taking out mutants?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, and so they got these great big kaiju-sized Eternals who are going and they're attacking Krakoa. Krakoa is the living island where all of the X-Men and all the rest of the world's mutants, or nearly all the rest of the world's mutants, all live on this living island. Who, if you remember, way back in Giant Size X-Men, weren't they fighting it? They were.
Yeah.
That was, but it's a mutant too, so it's fine.
It's okay. It's okay.
Everybody, all the mutants are friends now. I mean, not really friends, but at least they're allied. Anyway,
Mutant adjacent.
they have been the X-Men comics have been fantastic. And if you haven't found this out already, Aurora Storm is queen of the solar system.
Yeah, that's a reason for me to start reading again.
Spoilers. Let me just drop that on you.
take
I mean,
that.
she doesn't
I will
have
take
her
it.
own. She doesn't have her own book.
I feel like I need
She don't need a book.
I need to have a little thing that says spoilers on it with a stick, and I can just lift it up real quick when you say something.
She's been for a little while now, maybe a year or two. She's been queen of the solar system because a little over a year ago, the mutants decided, you know what, we're going to terraform Mars. And, and the funny thing is, it taught me things about why Mars is the way it is in real life.
Yeah. I remember feeling the same way.
I didn't know about this. So apparently, here's some science for you. Apparently, the reason why Mars doesn't have an atmosphere and can't keep an atmosphere is because it's not dense enough. It doesn't have. You know how Earth we've got a metal core. We've got a molten metal core, and we've got a bunch of rock floating on top of it, right? Well, they don't have enough metal. They don't have enough heavy elements in the center of. What? They're not metal enough.
Just this much metal, not enough.
They're like glam metal.
There we go.
It's not metal enough. Not for Zoe anyway. She likes that hard, screamy shit. She does. Am I wrong?
It's wonderful.
Am I wrong?
It's not shit though.
Yeah.
Get her
It's not great. I don't like the screamy stuff.
Oh no.
Because I'm old. Anyway, so basically, Magneto, like you do, as well as applicable other mutants, went and power stunted the shit out of this Marvel superheroes role-playing game, friends. We power stunting. They power stunted the shit out of it and added a bunch of other mass to the planet, right? Mm-hmm. They're like, oh, well, it doesn't have enough, stuff. We're gonna give it that. And then you got Iceman and Storm, like, oh, we're gonna give it water. We're gonna give it an atmosphere. Okay, along with others as well that are actually creating these things. And then they went and terraformed the whole thing, and you got people who make plants and all this, Black Tom or whoever, going in and setting it up. And then they took the other half of Krakoa that used to be in a extra dimensional space that were always at war for their entire thousands of years. All of this section of mutants were all moved to Mars, now called Araco. That's the other half of the island is called Araco. So now Mars is called Araco, and oops, Storm is now the regent. and they declared to the rest of the galactic community, by the way, Earth, they're kind of our embarrassing uncle.
We know them, but we don't claim them.
Araco is now the seat of the Sol system. So if you want anything with the Sol system, come here. And by the way, Storm is regent. So there you go. That's how that happened. It's fantastic. I love it.
Can't make this up, boys and girls.
It's so good. It's
Actually,
so good.
You can.
You can't make that up. And big thank you to Jonathan Hickman, who started it all out, and then whoever's running it now, still doing a great job. Mm-hmm. All right.
See, that's always the thing with Jonathan Hickman is you let him get his hands on something, he's going to turn it into an epic.
Yeah.
And he's going to take you into outer space, and he's going to find a way to keep you there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. He did such a great job with Fantastic Four.
Mm-hmm.
What else was he on?
What was the thing way back? Because it was the big build-up between Alpha, Omega, and a couple others. I cannot remember the name because that was like the last Infinity.
Oh. I couldn't remember.
Good Lord, that was way back. I'm dating myself.
So I was talking to Chad Michael Collins, who you'll remember from any of the Sniper movies. He's the sniper in the Sniper movies, and he's also Echo 3-1 from Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019, 2020? Anyway, whatever it was. Anyway, I was just texting with him, and I was saying, hey, come on the cruise. You should go and be you should be a guest. And he said, well, if I do, I'll for sure get another job because apparently he signed up for cruises recently, and he always gets a job that precludes him from being able to go. Anyway, but I hope he'll come
like a bad job.
and get a job. It doesn't quite conflict. That's my hope for you, Chad.
That sounds better.
Anyway, what else? Television. Harry, what were your television picks?
Well, 5 episodes in with
Sandman. It is so good. And you talk about...
Go ahead. Go.
I was going to say, talk about like representation and that sort of thing, right? You have people probably losing their fucking minds about that show.
Yeah.
Gwendolyn Christie was a weird choice. Worked, but kind of a weird choice because
I didn't see that coming. I was like, Lucifer? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
I mean, she did a fantastic job, and everybody around her did a fantastic job, so it worked. I am just I just wanted, what's his name? Tom Ellis to be
Lucifer.
Lucifer.
Because I was like, it was a perfect, it would have been a perfect crossover. But you know what? I got a feeling if Sandman works, which it should, they will find a way to cross that over because, Satan can take many appearances.
Yeah, obviously.
So,
I like that.
matter of fact, if I remember correctly, and maybe I'll have to watch that episode again, I think that was alluded to in that episode that the form that she was taking was temporary. I think that was alluded to during that particular episode. But overall, even for what I've seen, it still blows me away that these shows can have such high production value for a streaming platform, for something that's not in the theater, for something that's going to give you 10 episodes of, oh my goodness, what can they do next?
Yeah.
And, I feel like we are in a golden age when it comes to these shows.
Yeah.
Because if I remember correctly, the Sandman idea was pitched, I want to say around 2000, 2002. And
I think
at
it's
that
been
time,
constantly being
it's been
pitched.
constantly being pitched, and I think at that point too, Neil Gaiman came out and said this is not something that could be made into a television show. Remember, because
Right, at the time.
Because
Right.
we didn't have things like Game of Thrones and that sort of thing during that time period.
right,
I
And-
think on the success of American Gods.
that's where I was
Yes.
going. That's exactly where I was going with that.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
that's
had
such a
American
good
Gods, but you've had all these types of shows where honestly, you can't just sit down and just tune out. You have to pay attention.
Yeah.
You have to pay attention to these shows. That's probably why I'm not finished because episode 4 and episode 2 I had to go rewatch because
Yeah.
I know I missed stuff. But like I said, with the production value and with the subject matter, these are things that it's not going to be 10 episodes and half of them are filler. It's like everything connects for a reason, and it's pretty damn good.
In the original comics, though,
Yeah.
every one of those every one of those issues that seemed like a filler ended up paying off
Right.
eventually. Like even if it was, at the close, even if it was Sandman 75, it paid off. I can't think of anything that didn't. And if it didn't, then it probably paid off in something else, whether it's Dead Boy Detectives or Lucifer or any of these other spin-off, Death, the High Cost of Living, whatever. There's been a lot of spin-offs from that comic, and my only complaints, and they are very minor. Obviously, I want the original folks, the folks that I like best. I want Tom Ellis playing Lucifer, even though Gwendolyn Christie did a perfect job. I want Matt Ryan as John Constantine. Even though, what's her name? God, why can't I never think of her name? Clara.
Yeah.
even though she,
Jenna Coleman.
Jenna Coleman.
Yeah.
Even though Jenna Coleman did a perfect job. I mean, she doesn't even look like the Lady Johanna Constantine, but she's got
moxie.
She's got the right feel. She's got the right tone. And the funny, she's got the right stuff. She's got a similar, like her run in Doctor Who kind of calls back the fact, spoilers, not sorry, that
Watched it by now.
watched it by now. What are you doing with your life? That she's in there as modern Johanna Constantine in 1989 or present day or whatever it is, and also Lady Johanna Constantine in 1789 or 1689, which one of those? Because of course they're telling the story of Hob Gadling, during The Sound of Her Wings, which is issue 8, but episode 6.
Don't spoil it.
Oh yeah,
Fantastic.
remember he's on fire.
I'm getting to it.
Yeah. Next week.
So I don't remember what we're missing. By the way, so you've already watched the part with what's his name? The Dr. D.
Dr. Destiny.
Dr. Destiny.
Yeah. I love David Thewlis.
Oh, he's
So underrated.
He is so good. And the funny thing is, like, if you read those original comics, the character looked like he was undead. He was just gray and fucked up. But then here it's just like a frumpy English guy.
No. But there's still like that serial killer look like. Yeah, I don't think I want to mess with, because I forgot the lady's name. The lady that picked him up in the car.
Oh, she was so good too.
Right, like, yeah, you hey, I'm just gonna call it like I said. We wouldn't do that. Oh, you need a ride? Shit.
Good luck.
Yeah.
You know, because you take him to a convenience store and guy pulls out a gun. Like, look, while y'all two beefing, I'm just gonna slide out the door. I'm gonna get in the car and I'm just gonna go and pray I never see that man again. But because I was literally just sitting up there like, let this end well. This ain't gonna end well. He pulled out a gun. This ain't gonna end well. But yeah, they might not have given him the look that you were looking for in the comic, but
It was different.
David
It was different, but he killed it. That was
right.
so good.
When you throw him in the right thing, he's just chilling. I mean, even with him being in prison, I was like, how's he getting out of here? And he's like, look, I'm out.
So the things, my other wishes are, because if you remember, the initial run, the initial arc, first 8 issues or so, there was a lot of DC Comics folks in there. Not only Golden Age Sandman, not only John Constantine, but Batman.
Didn't Dr. Fate show up as well? Because that seems like something that was suited.
I think that was later.
Yeah.
And Martian Manhunter.
Yep.
Well, you didn't see neither one of those because they're big dollar things, and I think there's probably some money involved in making that happen. Which is funny because it's paying your, it's taking money out of your left pocket and putting it into your right, or the equivalent. Come on, Warner, why? Why is it so hard for you to go license your characters to yourself? Why is it so hard?
I know. I was reading something. It wasn't like they didn't try.
Do better, lawyers and contract writers. Do better. Get good.
Because
one job.
Get good.
Because we can sit up here and talk about why they canceled Batgirl and why are they canceling all these great things.
Oh, Batwoman. Batwoman? The
Batgirl.
CW?
No, the movie Batgirl. Remember, it's done and in the can. That has been
that's
the
right.
It's not
biggest.
coming?
That was a while ago, though, right?
No, this is just within the past week. Within the past week, that was like the biggest news that came out of DC because I guess they're trying to reorganize everything. So the whole idea is DC's, after all these years trying to get their shit together, they're finally trying to make a roadmap similar to how Marvel's always had a game plan, even though what theirs is now, I don't know. But DC's finally
Phase 5 after this.
getting their shit together.
Yeah.
Batgirl was pretty much in the can, done. It was billed as a low-budget movie, but, just for the casual fans. And then the powers that be at DC said, no, you're not getting this movie. Literally a 90-minute movie that's done, and they're going to do it. They're going to just pretty much take a tax right off and we're good. They're not going to movie and
Frumpy English guy can pass for a dead guy? Of course he can. Of course he can, James. Mars is glam metal is a sentence I never expected. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
We're
Yeah.
gonna make T-shirts, okay?
Mars is glam metal. No, Mars is not glam metal, right? Mars is the real metal.
Mars would be metal.
Oh no, our real world Mars is glam metal. That's true. That's what I said.
But yeah, so that was like the biggest thing out there, and it's been a not necessarily a running joke, but it's one of those like DC, what the fuck? You just had one job. But they're still trying to push Flash, even though Ezra Miller came out with an apology. But at the
Oh,
same,
I thought you meant the TV show Flash, the good Flash,
no,
the good-ish Flash.
No,
There used to be good Flash.
yeah,
All right.
but
Aw,
no, just
really?
no,
I
just
still like it.
It's rough. It's,
yeah.
It is.
But no,
They're tired.
just-
You can tell. They're weary.
They're reaching.
they're struggling to run across the finish line.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a big thing. So it's one of those things where DC has too many irons and too many different fires, and they can't seem to get them all together. But with the last shakeup that Warner Brothers has had, it seems like now they're trying something to finally get some semblance of coherence with their universe. And it's about damn time. But whether or not it's too late, we don't know. Because let's be honest, the whole comic book movie thing, that bubble could burst at any time. And hey, if it happens within the next 5 years, Marvel has made their money. Marvel and Disney has made their money, and they can just go right off into the sunset. Warner Brothers has been struggling for years.
Right, and they've had some real gems, but they can't keep it together. And I think, as I was alluding to earlier, on the what we used to say always, and I imagine you feel the same way, is Marvel does great with these live action movies. DC, for a while, when it came to the CW shows,
They were doing it good with
That's
the
right.
show.
they were doing it really well with the live action television, whereas Marvel was kind of trying to figure it out and not quite doing it,
Right.
Iron Fist. Do not
Agents of
blame
S.H.I.E.L.D.
the actor. What was that now?
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Listen,
You know what?
I love Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but I would have loved it better if it was better integrated and kind of kept their...
The first season
That'll-
relied
kept
heavily
attached.
too much. Relied heavily on too much on callbacks to the Avengers and Thor's movies.
Yeah.
Which was
I'm good with
fine.
that.
But
Keep it up. That's what I said.
right, it was fine, but it was like, we needed more from that.
Because it needs to
Yeah.
build.
Right.
And if you're just calling back, where are you going to build from?
Yeah, I saw Captain America walking down the hallway. Captain America's gonna be on the show. No, we just mentioned his name. He's not.
Yeah.
Name dropping. But
Yeah.
you look at any one of those shows, whether it was then or the Netflix shows or those kind of side Hulu shows or presently in the the legit the Disney Plus shows, they've all got a tag up on it, even if they're Moon Knight.
Right, but that's the thing, is finally somebody figured out the formula, because I feel like, hey, if you're going to talk about these characters, show the characters. And the formula that Disney has found is like, we're going to make these shows. We're not going to drag you out 10, 12, 15 episodes. We're going to get in and get out.
Yeah.
We're going to give you 6 episodes. We're going to show you how these episodes are possibly going to link to something else further down the line. They're still building that bridge, but they figured out how to do it without having to have people in the movie theater every flipping month.
Right.
'Cause I'm sorry, I'd be broke right about now.
Oh, I know.
And the best part about it is you can watch it on your own time.
Yeah.
But you better hurry and watch it when it drops, because people have already spoiled it by the time it
Well, and I feel like they've really kind of picked up the ball where, CW kind of really dropped it.
Yeah.
Because they were having you do those crossovers, and it's like, I'm not actually caught up on Arrow. I'm caught up on Flash, and, 'cause I dropped this, and
Right.
then if you go back and watch that, then you're lost a little. So you're right, they shortened it, 6 episodes, and it always tied in from the one before, and it goes into the next
We're
one.
going to stick to the point and
Yeah.
just keep it moving. And if it's eventually going to tie into a movie,
Yeah.
hey, you don't even necessarily have to watch the show, like the WandaVision and The Last Doctor Strange. You didn't necessarily have to watch, but it works better if you have, and we're going to show you how it all ties in.
Right.
Yeah.
Speaking
So-
of that, you guys want to talk about Phase 5?
Phase 5.
Sure,
All
why
right,
not?
let's do it.
All right. So that's that one
Eric, you
picture.
got us?
Phase 5. Let me see here. That's the big chart, right?
The big
Mhm.
chart.
All right, let's.
When that was dropping
So at San Diego Comic-Con, Hall H is way down there over Harry.
This one?
That one, yeah,
That
make
one.
that big.
All right.
All right,
If
so
I can, I'm gonna chop it, and make it, see if I can zoom in a little.
Yeah, I was
bit
about to say,
more.
now I need my glasses.
yeah.
Sorry, yeah, we took that there. We actually took that
There
one.
we go.
Yeah.
Thank you. So as you can see, February 17th, 2023, we've got Ant-Man and the Wasp, Ant-Man 3, Quantumania. That's going to be fantastic. Then in spring of 2023, we've got Secret Invasion. What is Secret Invasion?
Tell
For
us.
those of you who don't read the comics, Secret Invasion, with or without Jason Statham. That's a shout out to you guys. Panelologists live forever. Secret Invasion is when the Skrulls suddenly show up and
Well, they've been
Is that a
around.
Fantastic Four thing? Is there going to be an integration there?
the answer is maybe.
Oh man, I'm excited for that.
No,
That's
so-
when I got into comic books.
So Secret
Or
Invasion,
Secret Wars.
Secret Invasion in the comic books. What we first learned, suddenly, what was it? Spider-Woman, who doesn't exist in the MCU yet. Spider-Woman was killed, and she reverts to a Skrull, and everybody's like, huh? What happened here? How long has she been a Skrull? And then everybody is like, well, let's find out who else is a Skrull. And it turned out a shit ton of people were also Skrulls. James says to me, Daredevil is where Marvel started doing fantastic TV shows. It was a great show.
And if you look there in 2024,
Yeah. So yeah, and so 2023 we've got Secret Invasion, we've got Guardians of the Galaxy. Also in May we've got Echo, which honestly, listen, as a partially native dude, and as a dude whose native ancestors were deaf, a full quarter of my ancestry were deaf. I still don't care about Echo. Is she gonna be Phoenix? Is she gonna be Phoenix, or is she just gonna be Echo? Because I don't know if I care. Listen, she was fun. She was fun in Hawkeye, but why is she getting a movie? Like, I would watch her show.
Daredevil needs a nemesis.
Why? Dush, no. I disagree.
Why not?
Origins.
I don't need an origin thing. I don't know. Is she gonna be Phoenix? I don't know. I'm sure it'll be great. But it's
We'll
still,
see.
I'm like, man, can't you put your energy elsewhere?
I mean,
Loki season 2, 2023, right? Loki season 2 is going to be great.
That's
We
awesome.
already know. Loki season 1 was fantastic. I
Yeah.
loved it. I don't usually like villain things. Like, you have these great writers, doing a series of Loki or Magneto or Doctor Doom or whatever. I have by and large skipped them.
Loki's not really a villain, though, is he? He's more like an anarchist.
Yes, and
I think that's why it
certainly,
works.
yeah, and that's why it works.
chaotic.
yes.
Yeah, definitely chaotic.
She's got a heart in there somewhere, though.
Yeah.
Marvels. So Marvel Girl joins, or not Marvel Girl, Ms. Marvel,
Marvel.
Yeah.
not Marvel Girl. Ms. Marvel joins Captain Marvel.
So it's bad as saying Super Turtles.
I want to know, is this
Marvel
going to
Girl's
be the
just-
point where Monica Rambeau joins up?
Yes.
Maybe it's the same movie.
That's what I'm saying. I want to see it at this point because they
Yeah.
teased her for so long. We got her in the
Photon look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There've
Yep.
been drops.
Right.
Yeah.
So stop dropping and just drop it.
And
Stop
then
drip dropping.
and then so 2023 is going to be busy. Also, we've got Blade coming back for version 3. Listen, I like version 1. If you remember back in 1998, I'm the guy who threw the Blade premiere party at San Diego Comic-Con 1998. Do you remember that insanity? She was in middle school. And I was there. Wesley Snipes didn't show up for my party. What's up, dude?
Was he in jail for taxation at that time now?
No, he did not have that excuse yet.
Oh.
Ironheart definitely would look forward to. I like all the Young Avengers type things.
Yeah.
I'm for it. Let's do it. Let's do it now. So I'm looking forward to that. Agatha Coven of Chaos. Honestly, as much as I like that character, I'm sure they'll do a great job
I like
with
the
it, though.
actress more than the character.
Yeah, I like the actress more
That
than
is
the
very
character.
true. I agree. And I think they know that, they picked the right person.
Yeah, And then we have Daredevil Born Again on Disney Plus, and obviously, as we know, it's going to be Charlie Cox again.
Yay.
And it sort of ties, not perfectly, but basically, to the Netflix series. They've basically, Marvel has said, well, not everything is going to be exact. Obviously it's the same Daredevil, same Kingpin, probably the same everybody else. Unfortunately, I don't think we'll see the white guy Iron Fist again. Listen, I like the actor. And as long as he's a secondary character, I'm not tripping on, his, how White Savior, his original character was. Yeah, it's pretty cringy. But, after seeing him for the past 30, 40 years, whatever. He's a guy. He's got a cringy backstory, but he's been good overall. And then we've got Captain America: New World Order, which I have a feeling will integrate both, Sam Cap and, probably my guess will be to fight against the Thunderbolts, because they're coming back. So
right.
May and then Thunderbolts. I'm like, those two movies are going together.
And then for those that do remember, one of the fallout things that happened after Secret Invasions was the Thunderbolts all of a sudden became good guys.
Right. And so in that version, we had Norman Osborn coming in as Iron Patriot. Mm-hmm.
Docking as the new Wolverine. And
we had fake Wolverine, fake Captain Marvel. We had fake Spider-Man.
Wish Wolverine? Wish Captain Marvel?
Wish.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we had Moonstone.
Missing a claw.
We had Moonstone as Captain Marvel. We had Dakin as Wolverine. We had Venom as Spider-Man. Which
Emma Frost, I believe, was just when she was just Emma. Wait a minute, no, it wasn't Emma.
No. That was Moonstone.
Yeah. No, I'm missing somebody.
Oh, and we had that was the old Thunderbolts. I was gonna say, what's the Screaming Mimi? Anyway, bunch of people as
the Dark Avengers
as analogs.
Yeah.
And that was Dark Avengers, not Thunderbolts, but they were calling themselves, the Avengers. Oh, you brought that up. There you go.
Yeah. And Sentry was there too, so I wonder if we might be seeing Sentry sometime soon.
Oh, that would be fun.
Yeah. Sentry and Ares and a couple others, so that could really be about something if this is done right.
Yeah, it'd be great. Let's give Paul Jenkins some money so he can finally do Tatua. Paul Jenkins, Tatua.
Yeah.
You owe us. All right.
But since we're on the TV stuff, what about what's currently like She-Hulk?
Oh, all right. Tell me what you thought.
You know what? I'm kind of in agreement with folk about the CGI. The CGI was a bit rough around the edges, but it didn't bother me as much as it did some people, because it seemed like some people really just needed something to complain. Oh my God, the CGI is horrible. It's like, it could be worse. Yeah. It really could be, but
it could have looked like a cartoon.
Yeah, but
the problem is she's a lawyer, and this show has to take place during the day. CGI is not going to be as strong
during the day.
Yeah, that's true.
It's honestly, I mean, you got a lot of graphics designers out there that will tell you, sometimes doing special effects for a quote unquote daytime scene, it's kind of hard to pull off.
Yeah.
Because white background.
Yeah.
But overall, I felt like it was a nice origin story. Actually, the funniest thing was the psychology nerd in me is like, so the man, Bruce Banner, could not reconcile his ego and his id, so he had to make a device to do it. But this woman's like, oh, I'm good.
Yeah.
Well, why?
The stress of being a woman every effing day.
I can control this. Hey, I'm turning green. No big whoop. Just take off my shoes.
Yeah.
And I do want to send out a shout out to one of my friends in Atlanta, Jabbar, because I was excited too. Jamila Jalil as Thundra.
Yeah.
Busting into the courtroom. I was like, this shit looks familiar. Then I had to go look. Like, oh my word.
Yeah, Camila Al-Jamil. That's her sister's character. Never mind.
That was
That's a good place joke.
Phenomenal.
That's a good place joke.
That
Thank you.
Oh.
Thank you.
that was off the hook. But it was one of those like, okay, this is how you're going to tell an origin story if you're going to tell an origin story. Because yes, there's still a lot of people out there. Like everybody knows what happened with Bruce Banner.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, matter of fact, if you think about it, Ed Norton's Hulk, which does take place in continuity of the MCU, we really didn't find out what happened. He was already Hulk.
Yeah.
So they took advantage of the idea that, yeah, you already knew how he turned into Hulk. But now you have She-Hulk, and a lot of people, you know, don't realize, yeah, she accidentally got blood transfused from Bruce in a car accident. So we're going to show you right here, and then we're going to show you how she managed to cope with being a She-Hulk. And I'm like, great. You know, it's a good setup. You didn't drag it out. Just the same as everything else. We're going to get in. We're going to get out. We got that out the way. Let's zoom on in. Matter of fact, I think they did a better job, honestly, setting up her character than they did with Moon Knight.
Yes.
I just work here.
No, it's true.
Yeah.
Moon Knight paid off in the end.
Right. They just took too long getting there.
They
He did a great job.
They took.
That character was
They
nailed.
dragged us all kicking and screaming all the way to the end, where you're just like, oh, all right, fine, okay.
It is what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and and there certainly have been shows and movies like that where until the end you're like,
How did we get here?
why am I even watching this show anymore?
Yeah.
And
That's how I felt
you
about
watch it to
Falcon
the
and
end, you're like, oh shit, I got to start this over again because this actually was good. And
Now I got to pay attention and care.
yeah,
That's how I felt about Falcon and Winter Soldier. I watched it twice, and I'm like, I don't understand where this fits into the big picture.
it was a.
There was a lot of filler.
Yeah, it didn't feel like they were building to anything.
It was a lot of filler, but no, what they were building into was they took the long way.
Yeah.
But they were building into getting Sam into the idea of, okay, this is going to be something that you're destined to do, being Captain America.
Yeah.
These are the threats that you're going to face. And Steve didn't hand this legacy off to you haphazardly. There's a reason.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things that I really did enjoy about watching them build this up was, hey, matter of fact, let's come back to the first episode. The very first episode, the government's like, oh, no, you can't be Captain America. We don't care what
Right.
Steve said.
That's
No,
right.
we're not going to let, and he's kind of going along with it, like, whatever. But then at the same time, you had other people's like, no, this is something that you earned. And then at the same time, he had even other people, Isaiah was like, dude, let me tell you how they fucked me over. You
Right.
might not want to do that, but do what's in your heart. So that to me was the whole thing. You have all these voices in your ear. Then you even, and I can't remember secret agent's name, but then you like, I'm gonna take this legacy. I'm taking this from you. Fuck you, Sam. Fuck you, Bucky. I'm gonna take this legacy because they said so. Oh yeah, and I got a touch of crazy. So
it turned out good in the end.
Right.
It just seemed like they were having to hit some bullet points. They wanted to introduce Isaiah. They wanted to introduce the crap cap.
yeah, and they
And-
wanted to introduce the villains.
Yeah.
Yeah, origin stories for villains, sure. I can
Yeah.
see that, but like I just didn't see I didn't see much character development for Bucky. I didn't see much character development for Sam. It seemed
There was
very much,
only just the one thing.
Yeah.
Now,
I
see, the
don't
problem-
want to do it to
Right.
I want to do it.
Right. But see, now that's the problem of you have to have watched you have to have watched Civil War at least through the end to understand Bucky and Sam's relationship. That was the problem.
well,
I
that was
get it. I
entertaining.
get it.
That was entertaining
Right.
for sure.
Right. I get that. Because the whole idea is they've already been established in the movie, so we're going to throw them on the show without having really developed their relationship, which it was acrimonious at best, but it was almost like Bucky was the angel and the devil sitting on Sam's shoulder simultaneously.
Yeah.
Damn it, take the legacy before. Well, I don't want to do it, but damn it, you do it. I don't want it.
That's a good description.
Yeah.
All right. What else do we got? All right, so we ran through that. Thank you, Eric, for throwing that up before. The thing that I wanted to tag back up on again, and you know, if I have to beat this into the ground, I will. Listen, whoever's actually in charge of DC Animated, not our friends, because we love them. There's a ton of people working there that are fantastic. Voice actors, top notch. They're pulling in actors that haven't done a ton of voice work, but are excellent. You know, turned out wonderful. We got Jimmy Simpson as Green Arrow. I wouldn't have put him there, but he did fantastic. This latest, read the review on ComicsOnline.com, and you'll see just how disjointed and messed up this current DC universe. This is, and it's not like what they're doing is, you know, here's a one-off. It's not like the recent one where they fridge Lois in the first 10 minutes, because that was a thing that happened, and that's based on a comic as well. Did not like it. Did not like it at all. That was terrible. Just don't. Stop it. Also, with this, apparently, now that you know the Green Lantern movie happened, you know, the live action one with Ryan Reynolds happened, they're like, oh, but Parallax is always the big bad, right? Does he have to be? Because I don't think so.
No, because you still got Sinestro.
Yeah, and they had Sinestro in it.
Atrocitus.
Who looked weird. He looked all cartoony and weird. Everybody else looked fine. Why did Sinestro look all cartoony and weird?
I also thought that was strange.
Doctor Strange?
And they decided, oh, we're going to throw all these different lanterns in there and be part of the Sinestro Corps, except for they're not the Sinestro Corps. They're just, you know, bad guy team.
Right.
Random bad guy team. And this is a thing. And then, oh, by the way, pow, in the last 10 minutes, Parallax, ha, 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 all the rings. Because it's not just, you know, obviously. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's bad. It's bad. Don't do it again.
But you know what?
Let's erase that from DC. Listen, DC Animated, if you want a showrunner, a universe runner on the par with your Kevin Feige type, I got Matt Cernacker. He'll do it. Honestly, I want to get him a new job, not because I want to lose him from Comics Online, but because, you know, he needs to get paid what he's worth. And
There's not enough money in the world.
and he'll fix your shit. He'll fix your shit and not make you look stupid to the fandom, because you're looking stupid to the fandom. It's bad.
You know what? Here's the thing. When DC and Marvel started dipping their toes into animated stuff, Marvel did a few good ones here and there.
Right.
But,
Spectacular Spider-Man.
Right. But DC, at one time, they were just hitting them out of the park. Everything was just a home run. But it just seems like within the last 5 years, everything's been hit or miss. The Long Halloween was, But you know what I said?
And Hush, also bad.
Yeah, because you know what I said? I said, but that's not how it happened in the comic. And the thing of it is, yes, I understand that, you know, we want to adapt stuff for the screen, but if you're going to adapt stuff, make it make sense.
Yes, that's absolutely true. Story-wise, you're completely on board.
And the Long Halloween and Hush are two of the most seminal Batman stories that have come out in the past 30 years.
They are.
How do you take them, animate them, and have the ending so completely different? I said, you know what? Now, I know I haven't read the comic in a while, but I remember none of this crap right here.
And my biggest thing when it comes to things like that, like, for example, you look at older, better DC animated things like DC New Frontier, right? You got that Darwin Cook stuff, right?
Classic.
What did the art look like? It looked like Darwin Cook. When you go and watch Hush, DC animated Hush, does that look like Jim Lee? Fuck no, it doesn't look like Jim Lee. It looked like Lois Bitter from from overseas, got it.
It wasn't good.
It's not good. You go and you think, when you think of Long Halloween, sure, you're going to think of the story, but you're going to think of the tone. This is Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale. Jeff Loeb is an excellent storyteller. Now is completely Marvel all the time, and thank you for jumping on with Marvel for so long. You've done a great job. But then you have Tim Sale, who we recently lost.
Yeah.
Such a shame. Which honestly, why didn't he get some pages in some comics? What the hell? Maybe he was a jerk or something like that. I met his sister once. I never met him.
I met him, and he's an awesome dude. I met him. I want to say it was either 2017, 2018 in New York Comic Con.
Okay.
And caught him on one of those days where it wasn't. As a matter of fact, I think it was like a Friday morning. Wasn't really crowded, so I got to stay up there and just shoot the shit with him for a
hell
bit.
yeah.
Really nice dude.
That's awesome.
Got a couple of comics signed stuff, and I'm still kind of turning. I know where they are now. I just got to make the time to search the box.
Oh,
because I went and I
nice.
reorganized my collection. I said, "Oh yeah, let me put this in." So I know where that book is. Now I just gotta find it.
I wish I could say that about.
Our collection.
Oh gosh, we have so many
He came with comics, and I came with comics. So together we have lots and lots of comics.
Together we have like 20,000 comics, and it's too many.
Oh, I had to cut down.
Yeah, well, I should. Anyway,
but
my point is, you had this Tim Sale art. We had that very curvy Catwoman.
Mm-hmm.
You had very blocky dudes in 40 suits.
Blocks, curves, and the whole noir vibe, and dark.
And dark.
That wasn't it.
No, it was wrong. And if you can't set that tone, if you can't mimic that art, I mean, maybe for some reason you can't perfectly do, all right, you can't get it from the Tim Sale estate or whatever, then either you don't do it or you do something that still evokes the same feeling. You don't just go and bid it out to the cheapest overseas animators. Because, if you're getting it on Fiverr, let's return to Fiverr. If you're getting it on Fiverr, maybe just don't do it.
Yeah.
Maybe skip it. Because, you did so well for so long. And, you were stepping on Marvel every chance. Not really every chance, because you didn't care. You were just doing it. You were just coming out with great stories. And now, what?
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, so that's my complaint. That's my really long complaint against DC Animated. Fix it. We still love you. We still love everybody who works for you, except for whoever that is at the top who's making these bad decisions. Stop it.
Well, that's what I'm
guy.
saying. Hopefully the person that's doing, because I cannot remember the CEO's name right now, but hopefully the person at the top that's doing all these shakeups will look at all the divisions, because the thing of it is, if you want to keep up with Marvel, if you still want to give people a reason to go see your movies and watch your shows, watch what they're doing.
Yeah.
Watch what they're doing with their shows and everything. Because, for instance, the best thing that DC has out right now that's animated is Harley Quinn on HBO Max, which just started up about a month ago. And I think they're on episode 5 now. It is awesome. It's hilarious as hell how they take the characters and they just butcher the hell out of them. Watching Batman's relationship, Bruce Wayne's relationship with Selene, fucking hilarious.
Oh,
he's like, they just go all in to show how much of a mental case he really is, and I'm just sitting there just like.
That sounds fun.
I saw a preview. I saw a trailer for it.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to watch it.
Yeah, because I didn't think I was going to like it. So.
Are we in the first season or season 2?
We're in season 2.
That's what I thought.
We're in season 2 now. That's what
I still haven't watched season 1.
It's one of those things. Do like I do. Give it the 3-episode try. If it sticks,
I'm sure.
I didn't think it was going to stick. Oh my God, it's stuck.
Yeah.
Watch it.
Okay.
Go to season 2.
It seems on a similar level to MODOK. If you watched MODOK.
That didn't stick with me. That's the funny thing. That's something that should have stuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oswald Patton, I could take him in doses. That's why I kind of like him as the Raven.
Yeah,
in
spoilers.
Sandman.
He's Matthew in Sandman. That's the other weird thing in Sandman.
Yeah. Yeah. I could take him there, but as MODOK, okay, I need you to dial that back some, dude. It's not. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but that's meant to be silly, so that's fine. I mean, according to me. So, this episode also not really brought to you by, what do we got? Devil's Backbone, Cyborg Brain Juice, Dank IPA. At Comics Online, I don't know if you've watched many of our episodes or listened to the old episodes, but we always like to tell people what the inside of our mouths tastes like, because that's what our fans really want to know.
Don't ask me.
Yeah.
I just got some liquid death.
His tastes like
Death. Death.
Mine tastes like IPA too.
Anyway, what about you? You got any TV things that we haven't talked about yet?
What are you watching?
I'm watching things he is.
What do we watch every night?
Star Trek.
Star Trek. So you brought up Star Trek.
Which one?
Can we talk about Voyager?
We move along. Voyager's her favorite. It's honestly, it was my favorite for a long time, and it's certainly tops still. But after watching things over and over, I've come to really enjoy Next Generation a lot more than I originally did, as well as I finally watched a Deep Space Nine.
Deep Space Nine.
A couple of times through.
You climbed up too.
Because I never had before, and then I finally finished it, and then we were on what's his name?
Space Nine, or the Jews versus the Catholics in space.
Jews versus the Catholics in space. Call it what you will.
Oh, God.
Oh. Anyway.
Oh,
What did you just replicate out of there? I'm not touching that replicator.
That's a yellow card offense right there.
So we were we got on this is like early COVID. We were on the podcast with
Dr. Bashir.
with Sid. Yeah. What's it, Alexander Siddig is his stage name, Sid. But
He was so nice.
it was so nice. Oh my God, that
He's
guy.
one of the people I still want to meet.
So our friend Mel from Nice Girls is his webmaster and his friend, and has been for a long time. And so she's been running this show for him for a while.
So for his 20th, for Comics Online, she was able to get us on and get us a shot.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah. He really was just the nicest.
Oh, so nice. All right, what were we saying?
We were talking about Star Trek.
Talking about Star Trek.
But
So, all right.
all
So
the new stuff.
out of all the new stuff, I love all of it, and I don't even want to make a choice. Except, here's the thing. So, I really like, what's it called? I always get it wrong. It's not Brave New World. It's
Strange New World.
Strange. I always want to call it Brave New World.
Strange New World.
Strange New World. I love it.
Yeah.
It's everything that Discovery kind of either lacks or goes too far on, and it dials it back.
Okay, I think the best way to explain it is, especially since it's kind of leading up to the original series, Strange New Worlds is the closest thing in modern times that you're going to get to the original series.
Yeah.
Out of everything. Whereas Discovery has its own vibe.
Yes.
Because, it's still Star Trek and, the whole IDIC mantra, but it's not like, it's not supposed to be like Strange New Worlds. The thing of it is, it's like you can have different flavors of Star Trek for everybody.
Yes.
But it doesn't need to be about the same thing.
Right.
Because, you got a lot of people, like, this isn't Star Trek enough. It's not supposed to be.
Yeah.
And that's the thing I loved about Discovery. Like, it had its own vibe. We're strangers from the past coming 3,000 years in the future to save your ass from everything, and they just keep getting put through the ringer.
Yeah.
And I think the whole thing is to keep testing Michael's resolve. Because she worked her way from down here.
Yeah.
And now she's up here. How the whole song goes. But that was one of the things that has impressed me. And I'm sitting up here saying to myself, okay, you've gotten 4 years in. What are you going to do for the next one? How do you? Because that's the thing. They keep raising the bar. Y'all two get around.
We got one.
Get me a hose.
Right here.
I need a hose.
What did you call me?
I didn't call you.
Gosh.
That would be multiple.
Well,
Sad
if we
part.
work hard enough.
Sad part is I have that running joke with my wife, but that's a whole different thing.
Yeah,
That makes it even more funny.
Is she gonna join us sometime?
We'll see. She doesn't do like a lot of speaking. She'll probably root and like yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Great.
Picard, it hasn't stuck to me yet, and I've tried twice to rewatch that first episode. It's of the
whole
second
thing?
season.
Oh,
Of
okay.
the second season because I finished the first season. It hasn't stuck to me
Didn't
yet.
we just finish the third one?
No, this is only season 2. Better be season 2. If they're on the third one, then I missed a whole hell of a lot. We're only on season 2.
Are you sure?
Positive.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think we finished up season 2 and season 3's in
in production.
yeah.
All right.
And then, as quiet as kept, Below Decks is fun.
Mm-hmm.
As James says in the chat.
Thanks.
Below Decks is fun. And I'm curious to see if they're going to find a way
you're
to
right.
tie it in to some of the newer stuff. Because, I mean, it's a golden opportunity
Yeah.
waiting. Like, yeah, we're going to find a way to tie it in to the live action stuff at some point. Because, I mean, you got to think about it. We've really not had an animated Star Trek since animated Star
And
Trek.
now we have 2. You know what's funny? I had on the side of the Marriott at San Diego Comic-Con this year. They said, they're along the top, and it said Star Trek, every episode ever, Paramount Plus, da-da. And that's where I was watching, hey Mike. Oh, Mike Smith is here. That's where I was watching everything on Paramount Plus, which I have attached to my Amazon. And yet, suddenly, if I want to go back and watch episodes of the Nickelodeon one that I missed, no, we want $1.99 an episode or whatever amount per season.
That's right.
And I'm like, I already paid for Paramount Plus, assholes. Excuse me, I'm gonna call you assholes, people who are making a children's show that tell me on the side
Oh, no, you're
every
gonna pay
episode
for this.
ever. I gotta pay a la carte. I gotta go pay to get in, and then I gotta pay a la carte. What is this, Disney World? Listen, I'm a little bit burned from my recent re-up on for being a pass holder. That's rough. I don't think we can do it again next time.
I agree.
Yeah, so,
And Disney
It's his
Plus.
That's what we said.
birthday
Again.
coming up.
that's
so
my
that's why
birthday
we did
coming
it.
up, and
Yeah.
we're gonna go
Yeah.
again after, and before and after. Not Con at Sea. It's now called King Kong Cruise.
King Kong has a better oomph to it. I
does.
like it. Yeah.
King Kong Cruise.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we will be there, and so you should be too.
Oh man.
All right,
it
so-
was a blast.
Yeah.
Star Trek.
Star
Star
Trek.
Trek.
So Star Trek, yeah. I have enjoyed the. It's funny. I was in the middle of an episode, on Paramount Plus, and it let me finish that I hadn't watched in a month or whatever, and I went back to go where to finish it up, and it let me finish it up, and then I wanted to watch the next one, and it was like, well, pony up, dude. What the fuck? What is going on here?
I already paid for this.
Yeah, I was not real happy about that. So Paramount Plus, get your shit together because I'm not loving it. Anyway, yes, I really, really, really love, and I think probably some episodes aside, I think the one where they're going into Fantasyland with the Doctor was a little too Next Generation Season 2.
Yeah. But it had its purpose. That was the thing. Because I thought the same thing. I'm like, yeah, we've seen this somewhere before,
Yeah.
but it had its purpose.
Yeah.
And helped him also find an answer for his daughter as well.
I was hoping they were just going to string that out, honestly, and that's kind of mean to do to a real person, but but as far as a character,
Get your ass back in the teleporter, but Chad.
get your ass back in the teleporter,
What did I say?
exactly.
Don't make me beat me out of there.
And then next season you're like, he'd be like, "Why did you age?"
Got no clue.
Yeah.
I would have been happy to have that continue, but whatever. If you can't do it, you can't do it. Anyway, it was an odd sort of way to approach it. So, Harry, you came up with a movie on the movie side of things. You came up with Prey, and I forgot that it existed. I forgot that it was going to exist, and it was already out. I hadn't clicked on Hulu for a while.
Gosh, that was good.
The biggest movie that Disney forgot to put in the theater. Okay, so here's the thing. 20th Century Fox, when it was by itself, struggled for years to figure out a good formula for Predator. Everything was like hit or miss. Yeah, the first Predator flick, hit. Yeah, Predator 2, depending on who you talk to, 'cause I liked it.
I liked it too.
Hit or miss.
Yeah.
Okay, then you're gonna sit back and make us wait about 20 years.
Yeah.
15 years rather.
Then you have your
Alien
AVP.
versus AVP. Yeah, I'm like, I would have liked it a lot more if you followed the comic, because you already had everything out there.
Right.
Yeah.
Then you're gonna follow up with Requiem, miss.
Yeah.
Then you're gonna follow it up with Predators. Hey, people in space, hit.
Yeah.
Then you're gonna follow up with whatever that Shrek that came out behind that, huge miss. Oh my, that was horrible. That almost was the movie that killed the franchise. So when they came up with
It's
Prey,
unkillable, but they can fuck it up over as many times as they
if
want.
it bleeds, we can kill it.
True.
Okay.
Good one.
Okay. All right.
And
Nicely done.
the sad part was figuring, like, yeah, we're going to take one of the guys that was in the original and let him write and direct it. No, that was the wrong answer.
Yeah.
But then they come up with Prey.
So good.
Yeah.
I'm going to let you talk about it. You go, because I say what
I like
what's your
it.
opinion?
Oh goodness.
We just watched it last night, so it's fresh.
Yeah. I don't know. I liked how they slowly went into it. I really liked that. One thing that really kind of pissed me off when she got to the bog.
Are we doing spoilers?
Oh yeah, spoilers.
Spoilers.
Spoilers. This is
It's been
Comics
out 2
Online.
weeks,
Spoilers.
so that's on you.
Sorry.
Go.
Well,
I found this on the web. That's nice.
thanks. No spoilers, phone. So I'll have to say, one of the things I think they really missed an opportunity on was when she got into the bog and she got stuck and kind of like that marsh, and she was just covered in mud. And that's how Arnold Schwarzenegger was able to realize.
Can I get that again?
Actually, no, they missed it, but they didn't miss it. Because remember, when she fell into the water itself,
Right.
she was invisible.
But it could have been like a good,
Yeah.
It could have been a good callback.
could have been in the same pose in the middle of it. Realizing
that
it.
was a miss.
That
That was
would've
an
pulled me in.
easy. That was an easy
I would have
callback.
whooped and hollered.
You know. Oh.
You know, I'd have been like, yes, I nailed it.
Yes.
So there was a couple things in there where I'm like, what is she doing? Like, if she's supposed to be this hunter, you know. But there wasn't too much of that. I don't know. I really liked it. I think it's really good. And you're right. I think it would have been hit in the box office, and I think that they kind of messed up on pushing that.
They figured out in the back end, because a lot of people were still wondering why it never made the theaters. Well, on the back end of things, when COVID was still in place, when they signed off on this movie, it's a couple of things. One, when they signed off on the movie, being that the last couple of Predator movies weren't really that big of a hit in the box office,
Oh.
they were like, well, we'll put it on streaming to see what happens, because they honestly didn't expect it to hit it that big with this movie. And now that it's like the biggest thing on streaming, they're like, God dang it, we
I bet.
I would not be
Figure
surprised
this
at some
out.
point within the next year or so they will probably do a re-release in the theaters.
That would be a bad idea.
And I still think people would still go watch, even for everybody that saw it.
Mike Smith says Prey was a really good streaming movie. I think it would have done only average business in the box office. It was slow and didn't have any names to draw people in. And I get that. Oh, funny story about, so we watched Prey, and then it goes to the end, right? And I'm watching
End credits.
We're just letting the end credits go, and I like what they were doing with that. Looked like I don't know, Lion King or some other Disney thing.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh, that's clever
nice.
and cute. I love the titles. Good job, Titles Company. But and so it ends, and then I thought what was happening was an end credits scene.
Mm-hmm.
No, it rolled right into that new movie, Old Man with Jeff Bridges.
Yep.
And I thought it was a fucking end credit scene, and I'm like, this is really weird. What's going on here?
So funny.
Yeah,
I think
And I
mine,
had
oddly
to
enough,
pause
rolled
it.
right back into the first one.
I had to pause it and be like, this is not an end credit scene at all.
I was laughing so hard.
Oh,
Let me hit that tweet, that comment real quick.
yeah,
About it
from
being
Mike,
slow.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, it built up. It built up to me the same way like they built up the first movie.
Mhm.
And that's why I had said early on, somebody kind of went to the whole Spielberg school of storytelling and build up. Because what I liked about the pacing is, one, you got to establish your character first.
Yeah.
So they established our main character,
They did.
and the whole thing was, no, it wasn't supposed to be about a big name draw. So if you were looking for a big name draw,
It's not it.
I'm sorry, you here for the wrong movie.
Yeah.
You know, and I love first of all, I love the fact that the majority of the cast were indigenous people.
I do
Most of the
too.
people that worked the set, worked the
Yeah.
movie, were all indigenous.
Mm-hmm.
So you had a lot to pull from. So the whole thing is, it is a setup movie. You got to have like a slow boil going on. It's the same thing like with the first one. Like, okay, we found these bodies. The bodies didn't have their skin. Okay. Well, what is this creature? You just don't. This has been the problem with the other movies. We're just going in full tilt.
Yeah.
Alien vs. Predator,
was full
Requiem,
Yeah.
and Predators did not have this. But the last three movies, with the exception of Predators,
Mhm.
you just went in full tilt. Well, hey, here's a Predator. Go play. Go kill stuff.
Yeah.
No, you needed to set this movie up.
Yeah.
You can't just go in there with, yeah, there's something running around the woods killing stuff. Well, we need to kill it back.
Yeah.
Right. No, there's something out there. I don't know what it is that's killing us, but we're going to figure out what it is. Oh, yeah, and y'all don't like me being a hunter? Fuck all of y'all. Fuck you. Fuck you. Especially fuck my brother who took all the credit for the damn bear.
And they told her
For the
later.
cat. For the cat.
for the cat. Yeah.
Yeah. That was ridiculous.
Right,
spoilers.
right. This is a good slow burn. Everything can't come out shooting and blasting and just murder, death, kill for 90 minutes.
Right.
Because yes, it would have bombed. No, this did great, and this is why people enjoyed it, because basically you've swapped out the cast of the first movie for this one and told a story in a similar fashion. There's something out there killing us. We can't figure out what it is. And then, yes, you have the slow reveal. Yeah, we already know what Predators look like.
Yeah.
We don't know what this one looks like.
Right. That was
No.
kind of.
Oh, and he had an odd
liked
look to him, didn't he?
Yeah,
He did.
Yeah.
right.
Kinda-
That's the thing. See, this is also the same reason why no one else can get the formula for shark movies right, because Jaws has been done. Jaws is a one and done.
Yeah.
You can't do shark movies at that level anymore.
No.
I feel like in the time they were like Jaws, great, and what was that movie, Twister? And they were
Yeah.
like, let's put them together. And it just didn't.
Oh, not Twister.
Sharknado.
Oh, you mean
What's it
Twister
called?
plus
Sharknado.
Jaws? No,
Yeah,
Sharknado.
What was it called? Yeah, to make Sharknado, and then
Yeah,
it just
yeah.
wasn't a thing.
Right. You cannot get that same formula. It's almost impossible. With Predator, they showed that they did. And that was the great thing about it. Because, I mean, Predators, for as good of a movie as it was, like, yeah, we eventually know you're going to show some Predators. It's just how you do it. And then we found, oh, no, you got super Predators, regular,
Yeah.
kid-sized Predator. I'm like, oh, okay. So that, it was a new twist.
Right.
It was a new twist, but that still doesn't touch how Prey did it.
Yeah.
You know, you went back and took an old formula, brushed it off, and you're going to walk us through it just like you did the first one. And to me, that's why I liked it so much.
Yeah. So my perception of Prey, I gotta go and talk with my cousin Taz, but she works for the Smithsonian. She's works on things at the what's it called? American Indian History Museum.
Yeah.
In DC. She works on a bunch of those exhibits. but I would like to know her thoughts on, you know, is this a good depiction of what was it, Cheyenne?
Yeah.
You know, in
Well,
what is it, Southern Canada, I assume, or Wyoming, maybe?
Yeah. I think that would be a very good question to ask, and I think that was the main reason why the majority of the people that worked on this movie were Native
Yeah.
people, because, again, you literally could have just taken a whole bunch of people that were either Native passing or skin white,
Yeah.
and just threw them out there like, hey, yo, go do the thing, go do the
Oh no.
and just been totally stereotypical with it. But it was like, no, we're going to take care of this culture. The one thing that I also like too, it's two things that we almost missed. One was when they introduced the French hunters.
Yeah.
They got murked. Like, oh, okay, so see, and that was a great added element, because it's like, we're already hunting this thing out there that's killing us and we don't know what it is, but then you got these trappers out here that are also decimating our land, and we got to deal with them and this thing that's out there.
Yeah.
And matter of fact, for those of you all that missed it, there was a nice little Easter egg from part 2 that showed
it?
up. Yeah. The gun.
Okay. All right.
Remember the gun at the end? Do you
Yeah.
remember where you saw that gun before?
Oh no.
Predator 2.
Really?
Remember at the end of Predator 2, when the elder predator and the rest of the cohort are picking up the body and leaving, and he's like the last one, and he's looking at something, and he throws it to Danny Glover, says, "Take it." That gun showed up in this movie.
Really?
Right.
Oh, that's
because one of the
fantastic.
guys that was fighting, when they were fighting, and one of the guys pulled out his gun, he was trying to shoot the predator, trying to take it and load it, and predator murked him. So it's kind of a throwaway Easter egg, but
Sure.
you know, when you're looking at it, like, oh, okay, that's the same gun. How does that gun wind up off of a dead predator with a native to the elder predator? I'm like, huh.
Yeah.
So
there you go, and that's why.
is this a thing where we might get another Prey movie with more natives fighting against a predator, and maybe somebody falls and that gun
That
is like a
gun's,
trophy
yeah.
or something like that? I
Yeah.
don't know. Or maybe that's just the story we're made to think about,
Right.
because everything doesn't always need a part 2.
You don't need to connect the dots. We can do it in our own head.
Right.
Yeah.
But it was a nice. It was a nice Easter egg. Matter of fact, I just remember correction. They weren't Cheyenne. They were Comanche.
Is that what they were?
Yeah, they were Comanche.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
And what's their region? It felt like Canada.
North.
North.
That's
It was
all
in
I'll
the
go for.
North
It was in
Plains.
North.
All
Yeah.
right. So maybe Canada, maybe northern U.S. Anyway, so the rest of the things, the points that I wanted to hit. So I had a couple of weird complaints, and one of them was resolved. My first complaint was, wait. She's in quicksand? Really?
Yeah.
And then I'm thinking about it after she's out, and I was like, this is fucking stupid. Quicksand? Come on, that's fucking weak-ass storytelling, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I realized, and I told Zoe this while we're sitting there, I'm like, this is going to be their Chekhov's gun. That's the only reason.
Deus Machina, yep.
That's the only reason
They showed it. Made
they
it so
could
hard.
that they would go and be like, oh, there she is. She's struggling to get out of quicksand. I'm like, fuck you, fucking quicksand bog. You know what is it? Are we gonna see the RUSs? Is this the fire swamp? It was stupid.
As you wish.
Yeah, thanks, appreciate it. As I wish. Yes, it was Chekhov's gun, and you know, in the end, it played into it.
It did.
The other thing was, so she shortly after this, she gets out of the bog and she goes and cleans herself off, and you know, in the river, and so all of her war makeup, her hunting makeup, go away, and she is with her brother. You know, she meets up with her brother and his friends, the young men of the tribe, and they show a shot, shot of them, shot of her, and her face, like. Hey, guess what? We're watching this in 4K, guys.
Mm-hmm.
We can see that she's thick with foundation. Maybe knock it off.
Yeah. Yeah.
She is
It was
thick.
it was right. Thank you. It was something weird. That's what
Yeah.
it was.
with foundation. I'm like, listen, maybe she had zits. You know what? I'm sure that plenty of, she doesn't have to be an
They
actress.
had aloe vera plants out there in them there forests back in the day.
No,
No,
just
no?
stop.
Okay.
I don't care if
Right.
she's got whatever blemishes, unless she's got some facial tattoo that doesn't go along with that character. Just
Yeah.
let her be. Just let her be
Trust the
freshly
process.
washed.
Trust the process.
Don't
Yes.
worry about it. Harry's a photographer. He'll tell you.
Because like I said, that was one of the first things I said. Something's kind of off now. The makeup is washed because eyes look too perfect. But
Yeah.
thank you.
It was bad. It was like, it was the
She looked too soon.
the flat, very flat
Yeah.
makeup and then eyeliner. I'm like, no, sorry. And then that was it. I love the movie. It was excellent. I think that's our stuff.
It is. We'll have to collect more for next week.
We've got so much stuff. We could be here for hours and hours more. Harry might not come down here for for every time because it is far from Maryland to come all the way down to FXBG radio. FXBG Public Radio. Thank you, Eric. God, you got it correct. Well, because it used to have a different name.
It did have a different name.
It did have a different name. FXBG Public Radio here in Fredericksburg, Virginia. If you've got a show and you wanna and you need a studio, come talk to Eric.
Oh yeah, he's really good.
He will help you out.
Yeah.
This is the place. If you're anywhere near here, if you're coming all the way from Baltimore, if you don't have your own setup at home, maybe you ought to come on down to FXBG. It is very affordable, and you will like the results. Because look at this, look at all this. We got engineering, not only sound but video. Those of you who are listening to this later on the audio only thing, sorry, but it's beautiful. Just imagine something that's beautiful, and that's it. There you go. That's us. Or at least this one.
Oh, I was just about to say you.
Or at least this one.
And actually, I do want to give a shout out. One of my friends is here, James. James is all the way over in England.
Is he?
Oh.
Fantastic.
Watch right now.
Thanks for
Makes that one
that's
comment
okay,
even
nobody.
funnier.
Yeah.
thanks for joining
Let's
us,
see.
James.
It's what, 5 hours ahead, so it's like 9, 10 o'clock there.
All right.
Yeah, so James, as always, thank you for supporting.
Well, and hopefully my British friends will eventually watch this or listen to it. We miss you guys, Tim and John and Matt, and of course Mike over in Brussels. Although I think he's in Switzerland right now. Anyway, is that it? You got anything else for? Like,
We're good.
look, sign up for King Kong Cruise. I think that's all I have to say for us, other than this was delicious. Thanks. So, for Harry and Zoe and Eric and FXBG Public Radio, and for everything geek pop culture, I'm Kevin Ghostwan, and this is Comics Online. Bitches.
Represent those of Comics Online, any participants, or any employers past, present, or future. If you would have thought otherwise without hearing this disclaimer, maybe you're not ready for this whole internet thing, much less 22 years of Comics Online. Or maybe you're instead one of our smart and sexy fans who appreciate foul language, bishop cosplay, biting sarcasm, and everything geek pop culture. If you have comments or questions for the Comics Online podcasters, post on our Facebook page, tweet us on Twitter, or email us at podcast@comicsonline.com. All original material in this podcast copyright Comics Online.